Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Ambition Amplified. I'm your host, Christian Garfias, and today we have a guest that really does it all. She's an actress with emotional depth. She's also a model, a singer, and also a beginning content creator. Please welcome everyone, Natalie Sanchez.
Woo!
For sure, Natalie. It's awesome to have you here. I've seen your work come across a lot of different spaces, across social media, and on a lot of different angles that you're kind of playing out. Let's start from the beginning. When did you realize that creativity was kind of your thing? Was it a specific act that you did? A moment where you had, where it was like, yo, I want to do this for life? Was it
Yeah.
an experience you had? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I think I first started off at church.
Okay.
And church like introduced me a lot to like there was a bunch of moments where you could like worship, and I was so little and I was a kid, and they were like, "Oh yeah, go sing up there, like go sing in the choir."
Mhm.
And I think that was like the first moment where I was like, "Okay, I really like it." And like they're picking me to do more stuff. I must be good or something. And my
Yeah, for
dad was
sure.
always he was a singer as well. He owned like a recording studio. So it's always been around me, but until I kind of like went into public with it is where I realized like I had a gift. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep using it.
For sure, for sure. So I saw that kind of like church kind of pushed you in there. Was it like a specific performance or audition? What was going through your mind at that point when you were little? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous. But I think I saw my older sister as well. She's like a few years older than me, and
Mhm.
she's a singer too. So I saw her like killing it and being so confident. And
Yeah,
we like created this competition almost where I'm like, yeah, I want to be like my sister. I want to do it like as good as she's doing it and as confidently. So yeah, of course I was like nervous. But
Mhm.
I think it first started off, it was like one little performance. I don't even remember the song. It was just like
yeah,
me and my sister and some other girl were singing it.
yeah, for sure. But that kind of put you inside the door. How did that early experience kind of shape what you approach kind of now? Is that something that you kind of evolved over time, or are you just kind of staying put to the same idea?
I mean, I think like I've definitely evolved a lot over time on how I approach like what I love to do and what I love to do now. But I think it's like become a lot more full circle. I think when I was like going into my younger years, probably like early teen years, I really wanted to like step out of like the church scene and like
Hmm.
explore different things and be me and my sound. And I really looked up to like Ariana Grande and
Okay.
all these artists that were just like not doing Christian music.
Hmm.
And then I think I came back around to being like, that really doesn't serve me. It might serve other people, like it doesn't serve me well. Because I just found like within being in this industry in the past like year and a half, I've kind of like took it more seriously
Hmm.
that it can be a dark place, and I don't really want to do all that they're asking, or
Hmm. Yeah,
step outside of my morality. So.
for sure, for sure. I understand that. Let's talk
Mhm.
about something else. Like, have you ever had like a moment where you kind of had like a stumble moment where you kind of like messed up on a lyric, where something awkward kind of happened? Do you remember kind of early on where you kind of had a moment where you were humbled?
Oh yeah, I think the first time, so I got signed to a talent agency for musical theater, and I was like
Okay.
so geeked and excited. This happened like the last year, and it was like for Broadway and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, so excited. So I started doing like these auditions in person,
Hmm.
and I rehearse almost not perfect, but like my rehearsal, like I am not making the same mistakes as I am in these audition rooms, which was like the most humbling. It was really like, okay, I need to learn what my voice does when I'm nervous.
Hmm.
And even if I'm trying to talk myself out of the nerves, like your body is still like physically
Yeah, it's
nervous.
still doing
So
a
like
natural thing. Yeah.
you can hear it, especially like certain parts of the song that may be more difficult and you're at a
Mhm.
more relaxed state. Like you need to be practicing when you're anxious and practicing like when you're in those high stress situations, because then you can come out of it. But I had a situation in an audition where I just did a Wicked audition for Broadway,
Yeah.
and we did Defying Gravity like out the gate, like no warm up. They don't let you warm up really, and you're like in a
Yeah.
hallway. Luckily this time I had an appointment, so I didn't have to wait in the cold or in the rain, which I've
Mhm.
done.
Oh.
But this one, I could tell like their eyes were lighting up, and it was really good. And then
Yeah.
I was going for the high notes, which I had never missed in any of my rehearsals, my vocal coaches, anything, and I just bombed them, like in the bad way. Not in the
Oh,
good way,
okay.
the bad way,
Okay.
bombed them.
Mm.
And I was just like, I left out of there. I was like, thank you so much. And I actually heard back from them, which you rarely hear. I actually heard back from them, and they were like, you did really, really great. We just needed more energy. They weren't even critiquing like the actual vocal. There was like a different energy needed to come from you, and I think the energy was like a little bit of the nerves.
I got you. Yeah. Did you ever like take away something from that? Were you like a little bit persistent? Were you just kind of like, yo, I'm gonna take that into a little heart. I'm gonna
Yeah.
learn from that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely cried. Like, let's be real. Like, it
Um,
was really like upsetting,
man.
and especially when you only have one shot, like one moment, and all this time that you've been rehearsing and like in this space, there's not like unless you're like at the top, you're not getting booked back to back to back. So it's like you have that one shot to do it. But I just think it like helps you realize where you need to improve and where I need to improve. Like it may not be like when my vocals, but it's like, okay, how can I like let go of the stress that I'm
Yeah,
carrying when I'm
for
going
sure.
into these auditions?
For sure. And did you ever like, how did you push through that and just keep your confidence going? Because I know you kind of mentioned you kind of cried a little bit, but like, how did you like step away from that and just kind of be like, yo, I'm gonna learn from it, but I'm gonna still come back stronger?
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely like on the way there, like
Hmm?
I was very confident, like outwardly confident, but I think you also need to have like inward confidence, like truly like
Yeah.
peace inward. Um and but after that I cried and I was like, okay, like wasn't sad because I didn't get the part, was just so disappointed that all this effort like turned into what? And all these years I've been like practicing and waiting for a moment. And you think that in the moment you're thinking that this is the last opportunity or like this is the one opportunity. So I think I just remind myself that like there's plenty of other opportunities and this is only just gonna cause you to learn and get better.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that kind of led you to these kind of different areas that you're kind of studying in, where you're kind of like, yo, I'm gonna be a singer, but at the same time, I'm also pursuing modeling. I'm also gonna pursue content creation with my husband. Does it
Yeah.
kind of lead you into different paths, or you kind of feel like, yo, like I only stick want to stick to one thing?
I know, and it's really hard, especially when you love so many things. And so I think musical theater at least puts it in a bow a little bit for me because like
Yeah, for
it
sure.
is acting, it is singing, it is dancing. So I do like that, but it's really hard when you also have to like have your specialties in there. So like
Yeah.
I would say I'm like a vocalist first, and then actor, and then dancer. Like
Mhm.
dancer, like I can dance, but like
Yeah.
I would prefer not to be doing pirouettes because I've
Mhm.
only done that for so long. I had like 2 years of classes with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is really hard to pick and specialize, especially like my husband right now, he's doing a bunch of content and I'm like managing his accounts and a lot of times I'm the one coming up with ideas, but we collaborate on that and we do a
Yeah.
really good job doing that. And he's so carefree of a person. Like I'm a little too in my own head and he's so carefree where he just can show up on a camera and hit the percolator or whatever he has to do.
Yeah, that's what's
Uh,
up. It sounds like you guys kind of have like this open collaboration where you kind of just like are feeding kind of ideas and you kind of like
yeah.
aren't letting them kind of go to waste, but kind of keeping
Mhm.
them on the back burner, you know?
Yeah, but just definitely like taking every opportunity. Like if there's an opportunity to sing, like I'm gonna take it. If there's an opportunity to act, like I'm gonna take it. So I just like keep the juices like flowing, you know, keep everything warm.
Of course. Do you think that's something of a word of advice you kind of give out to other people who are kind of like aren't sure of what they're doing right now? Do you
Mm,
think they should try different things? Do you think they should only try one thing and just see if they succeed at it?
yeah, I think I would say try to focus on what's in front of you.
Okay.
So, for example, like I am not a piano player. Okay, I'm learning the piano right now, which I
Yeah.
love, but
Awesome.
no, thanks. So I'm learning the piano right now, and it's fun and it's great. But I'm putting that to the side. You know what I mean? Still like developing different crafts
Yeah.
while like keeping my main focus on what's in front of me, which is like my singing and those sort of things, or like his content creation. Like I'm
Of
gonna,
course.
if that's like going, like let's go with that because I
Hmm.
think throughout your life everything will find its way to you
Yeah,
eventually.
for sure. I think it's all about just time and just like keeping everything just together. So for sure, that's great advice.
I don't want to fight the current, you know, like wherever it's going, like let's go.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually great. That's a great analogy for sure, for sure.
That's what I
Let's
meant
just
to say
talk
in
about
the
your
beginning.
yeah, current for sure,
It
for
came
sure.
out though. It came out.
Yeah, yeah, it did come out. It did come out. Let's talk about your kind of this creative process and kind of how you post on social media. How do you come up with like these new ideas with your husband? Do you kind of plan everything out in the moment? Do you kind of like create a list of ideas beforehand? How do you just kind of plan out this
Yeah.
idea?
So I think the biggest thing I do is I scroll. Like I
Okay.
will be scrolling, and I look for pages that don't have a lot of followers, but their video performed exceptionally well. So
Is
it's
this on
not a matter
TikTok?
of
Is this on Instagram?
on either platform. Like it'll
Either
be like
platform?
Facebook
Okay.
Reels, all of those things, because
Mhm.
although all the platforms have like different algorithms, it's really based on like their audience.
Yeah.
But regardless if something's like viral, and when we look at what we want to post, we want to post things that like are in the millions. Like I'm not
Mhm.
really a day in the life is not really going to get millions of views unless you're Kylie Jenner, you know?
Yeah.
And so you have to think about, okay, nobody knows me, nobody cares about me. Why did this video perform well, and why do people care about this video? So
Mhm.
like I go through, I'm like, why did this caption hit? Like why did this hook? Why did I like become? Why didn't I swipe? And so I ask myself those questions while I'm scrolling, and I take note, and then I'm like, I send them the videos. I'm like, we got to recreate this. We got to recreate this. We got to recreate this.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a lot
awesome
of
because it sounds like you're almost like pursuing a marketing kind of
yeah,
aspect to it too, because you're also
yeah,
kind of looking what other people are looking out for.
yeah. I have a degree in marketing, so that's why I'm like I have that brain
That's
where
what's
I'm
up.
like
Yeah,
I'm so curious to why it works, and I want to replicate it. Like
that's great. Do you ever feel like you kind of have this same exact idea, brainstorming method when it comes to selecting kind of different songs that you and your husband kind of like sing along to?
so for me, I think it's so much easier to do it for other people than yourself because you come in with so much bias and so
Yeah,
much like your own fears or your own anxious thoughts or your own self, you
yeah,
know,
or your own kind of like
conscious
different kind of
fear.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I come to him with stuff, he like trusts me because he knows I'm coming viewing this from an outside perspective and
Yeah.
not from okay, this is my husband. This is how good I want him to look, or this is how, you know, it's not about that. It's like
Yeah.
if your hair is messy, like no one's really paying attention to that besides you. And
Yeah.
you're not gonna not post the video just because your hair looks messy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to take ourselves out of it, and I think that's what's difficult about me personally posting more singing content because I'm so in my head, in my own head, and I don't have someone like being like, hey, do this, do this, do that. But I'm that for him, so it works out.
Mm. I feel you. I feel you. Do you ever feel like you kind of have to have that person with you who kind of like needs to guide you, or you just kind of like are more of like a freelancer?
I mean, I have been doing it a little freelancing, and I've had other people be like, hey, do this video for me, and I do like doing it for other people, but like secretly, I'm like, I think I could do this for myself. That's why I like quit
Yeah,
my marketing job. I'm like, I don't want to spend all this time doing it for other people when I know I could be doing this to market myself.
of
So
course.
that's why, yeah, I kind of like cut everything off, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it for me, and yeah.
All right, just kind of cutting out the middleman, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever feel like these ideas kind of hit you at random times as well, like when you're in the shower, when you're walking, or when
Oh
you're
my
just kind of like in
gosh.
the moment?
Oh my gosh. Such bad times. I'll be half asleep, and I'll have a dream. Or I see a video and I'm like typing into my dream, or I like wake up out of my dream and I like
Yeah.
sang the most beautiful song in my dream, and I literally fan going on, and I'm like trying to sing the melody of it,
Hmm.
half asleep, and you know those are my voice memos. They're not for anyone,
Yeah, for
but still,
sure.
like oh, you gotta take every little bit of idea and go with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that process. And when it comes
Mhm.
to acting, how do you really kind of prepare for roles, or how do you kind of dive into this character work when it comes to kind of theater or other kind of musical aspects that you're kind of approaching?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is what I should do more is, well, I do this every time. Like, if I get an audition,
Hmm.
and I haven't heard of the musical or haven't heard of the show,
The
I
concept.
will
Yeah.
watch it first,
Mhm.
watch a few times, watch a few different actors do it, and see like, okay, what made that performance good, and not how do I copy paste it, but like how do I take that same emotion and kind of what the directors want and add that into mine, so that when I do my self tape, like they see that I've done the research, they see I know the character, you
Hmm.
know.
Gotcha. And
But
what's that
also,
process kind of
yeah,
like? Oh, my bad. You can go ahead.
yeah, no,
Say your
you're
last
good.
thought.
No, I was gonna say about what that process is kind of like with
Yeah.
self tapes, um, especially singing self tapes or acting self tapes too. It's almost like social media where you have to assume nobody cares. Like
Hmm.
they're gonna swipe in the
Yeah.
first like 2-3 seconds. So if you are not pulling them in the first 3 seconds, like you lost them. You
Yeah.
lost them.
Hmm.
So I think having that approach to self tapes is so important. And for some reason, I wasn't thinking about that my first like few auditions, and I was like, duh. Um,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it gets a really difficult when so many people are taking risk and doing other things with their self tapes now, and I don't know, it just can get crazy because
Yeah.
now they want a movie. You know, they want you to shoot your own movie,
Hmm.
basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. I understand that. How does this kind of theater process kind of like, we kind of dive a little bit kind of deep inside, like kind of getting the audition and kind of like just forming the character and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But how is this process kind of really like from meeting the director and getting the chance to being able to audition and
Mhm.
apply? Like, how do you really go about that process?
Yeah, I didn't know at first how to go about it. There's this website called Actors Access,
Hmm.
and you create an account on there,
Gotcha.
and you will have all the listings, all the job postings from legit people. It's like Backstage is you can get work,
Yeah.
but Actors Access is where you will get legit work, and there's kind of bigger competition. I mean, the shows that shoot in Chicago are posting on there for background, for um, featured background roles,
Yeah. Stagehands, whatever.
roles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're posting on Actors Access, and there's also you can go into like change your region and search through LA, search through these different places,
Yeah.
and they are probably looking at self tapes as well and not just local hire. So
Okay.
that's the best way to start.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And how about like singing and all that? Do you also have like an agency? Do you have a manager you kind of go behind?
I don't right now. I can do it through my agency. I haven't
Yeah.
gone through that process yet, but I think right now with singing, I had transitioned so much within the year. Like I was focusing musical theater and doing those auditions, and then with my singing lately, I've really like became more of like I know what I want to be now, like as in
Okay.
my identity as a Christian artist. So
Hmm.
I think that's where I would want to lead. So I think it's a matter of seeing where that goes. Like how do I start that? So that's like a new tunnel I have to kind of like carve out and do
Yeah,
my
for
own
sure.
research to kind of find out. But I think where I'm starting, I like created these flyers. Um, so that I can just like stay warm locally. Like I have them right here.
Oh,
And
that's sick.
my flyers, a little QR code to my website. I created a website,
Okay,
and
okay.
it also I've done like the singing competitions locally that really like just help get you out there and keep you warm. That's like the biggest thing. As soon as you have like a break of performance, like it's like going to the gym. You just gotta keep everything warm, or else hey, you're not gonna lift as heavy of a weight, but you can still build it back up. You know, you're never too late.
My bad, Natalie. My phone died.
You're all good. Oh, your phone died.
But we were talking about repetition and kind of going about
Mhm.
that singing kind of process. But yeah, how do you kind of prepare for yourself like that? You kind of mentioned vocal coaches. Do you drink a lot of water? Do you drink a lot of tea?
Yeah. I think you have to really you will feel and know what is best for your voice. Like just best for your singing voice is gonna
Yeah.
like your speaking voice is gonna be really good for your singing voice. And sometimes I've tried like before auditions, like tea and honey, but sometimes I've noticed like that dries out my voice, like
Mm.
dries out my throat so much more. I don't understand it, but it does. So that's just not good for me. A lot of people have a bunch of other tricks with like basically, I think it's like a nebulizer kind of, where it just like blows steam right here.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried that.
Mm.
I'm willing to, but I think I don't smoke, so that's always a good
Yeah.
thing. Like, don't do that to your lungs, especially if you're a singer, unless you don't really care. But you should care about your lungs.
Yeah. Health as well, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. So for certain auditions, a lot of times they'll hand you, they sometimes they don't give you a track to practice with. They'll
Okay.
provide you with sheet music. So you'll need to like find a pianist who can read sheet music and like practice with them, or like have them record the actual music,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can practice with that track.
Play it back. Uh-huh.
Also like making sure like if they send you music and they don't have it all like plucked out every note, like they want you to follow the
Okay.
sheet music that they gave you. So just like certain things, especially like musical theater, that to the side, that's what I would like focus on.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like just singing or doing your own like artistic stuff, your own music, like whatever feels good. Like
Gotcha.
there's no right or wrong. Like whatever feels good for you, whatever your routine is that makes you feel like the best. I say go with that. Try every YouTube video too.
For sure, for sure. And we kind of talked about like that repetition of like going to different events. Do you also host open mics, or do you go to them as well?
I definitely should.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I honestly, I go like every time there's karaoke. I do a lot of karaoke. So I
Okay.
would do a
Any
lot of
favorites?
like nights because I feel like I don't have my own song released yet to like really showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of karaoke. I mean, it was like every Thursday night, and I just treat it like it's my own show. It's my own concert. Like I'm trying the hardest songs. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying. I'm singing Whitney. I'm singing Beyonce. Like I don't care. Like
Okay.
if I choke, hey, now I know. I need to work on that a little more.
Right.
So I really take that, and it's super fun. I think that's like the best way.
Yeah, that's cool, and I think it's a really great experience for other people to kind of get started as well, for who are kind of shy or
Right.
kind of have like the social anxiety. Because
Mhm.
in a karaoke, and especially in a bar, most people are probably not going to forget it, or
Yeah.
probably not going to remember it unless it was like super fantastic or like
Yeah.
it's really really great. But
Mhm.
you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's karaoke. You know, it's
Yeah.
not really too professional, so that's awesome.
Mhm.
What helps you kind of connect with like different characters when it comes to theatrical stuff? Like, do you kind of like read over a script? Do you go over the material? We kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think mainly I really try with every character. I know that there's some aspect of the character that I can relate to my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm naturally like a more empathetic person. Like I really feel deeply a lot, you know, us
Yeah.
creative people like we do. So I think I really relate it to something specific in my life, and also let go of like pretend no one's there. Like you really have to pretend no one's there, even with social media too. Like you have to pretend no one's there. That you are just being authentically you. Like
Mm-hmm.
no filters, no nothing.
Yeah.
Like who cares? You have to really just let go of all of that.
Do you think that's very important to building who you are as a person? Like, instead of kind of being an actor, where
Yeah.
it's like you're portraying a lot of characters and stuff like that. Do you find that kind of hard to kind of be yourself at some points?
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of times when I was trying to find like what my sound is, and a lot of artists like they'll cling on to other artists to kind of for inspiration, but sometimes they're just really just copying other artists, or
Yeah.
you know, I think you have to realize that like God gave you a gift and you're unique, and that's what's awesome about you. So many people say this and it's like cliche to say, but like your voice is yours. Like
Yeah.
own it. Like that's the greatest artists just own their uniqueness, own their voice. No one sounds like them. And you really have to do that. I mean, people would be like, oh, you sound like Ariana Grande, or you sound like, you know, and they can make those comparisons or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But at the same time, I want to make sure like I'm doing me the whole time. I'm not doing somebody else.
Right, that you're leaving the impression of yourself at the end of the day, not
Yeah.
somebody else. For
hmm
sure.
And
That's
I think
awesome.
I did my singing competition and I covered a lot of songs for it. It was kind of like an American Idol like type of singing competition. It was like week by week by week. We had different genres we had to do,
Okay.
and I won that. I don't know if you knew. I won it. It was
Awesome.
great.
There we go.
And we had like a country night, and I'm singing country music, but like my style. And I'm singing rock, but like the way I want to sing it.
Hmm.
And when you also don't listen to the artist too much, you figure out like what I sound like in the song, and not what they sound
Gotcha.
like in the song, or not copying the same runs that they did.
Hmm. Do you think that kind of helps too, kind of like not knowing the artist as well, where it kind of like plays into your favor too? Or do you think that's kind of like a disadvantage too, where it's like,
No.
I want to learn a little bit more?
Yeah, I think I love like hearing other people. I think
Okay.
we as people we're designed to get inspiration from other people and from other creative people. So like definitely like explore other people's covers, other people's, and you're like, wow, that just like raised the limit of like creativity, and now
Yeah,
I
it's
can push
fun.
it even further. So like take it to give you a little bit of like a skeletal, area to start, and then
Yeah,
really
low
like
foundation.
embellish and go from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about Ariana Grande. Is there any other like people you kind of resonated with or kind of grew up with, and just kind of like, what was it about their style that kind of resonated with you and that kind of like took to heart, that kind of like inspired you?
Yeah, I think growing up, like seeing, I don't think this had happened in any other like generation.
Hmm.
Seeing like these Disney stars like grow up and watching them grow up, and then like the Mileys, the Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, all these Disney stars
Hmm.
that Disney had like a formula for them. It was
Okay.
like, okay, they're gonna be in this show, and then they're gonna release music, and then they're gonna explode. So
Mhm.
that was kind of like something I really, as a kid, was like, wow, they're awesome. I want to be like them. Like, I want to dance. I want to sing. And just because I did genuinely love that, like, I didn't want to be them. And
Hmm.
now I see how much trauma and heartache they went through to
Of course.
have that life, which is
Mhm.
sad and unfortunate. But I think like them going through that really inspired me to know that it's possible to do all of it. Like it's possible to be a singer, actor, dancer, and make that your career.
Of course. And I think it's about like how resilient kind of like these women and kind of these figures are at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were able to do this at a young age, but not only kind of go through this hardship and all that, but still come out on top where they're still kind of relevant to this day.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing that
Mm-hmm.
you kind of like were able to kind of grasp that and got inspired by that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you kind of met or collaborated with kind of like now where it's kind of like inspired you in general as of late?
Yeah. I mean, there is this one film I was a part of, and I like randomly got a part of it. And I think a lot of the things, I mean, unfortunately, it comes from knowing people.
I gotcha.
So I knew someone who hired me on to this film to be a part of the crew of this film to do marketing.
Awesome.
And I was a part of like the behind the scenes department. It was called um the marketing manager on set.
Yeah.
And so I was on set and I was like, oh, like this is a legit movie. Like this is $1 million movie set. And so it really got crazy and I was just staying, and then I was able to be in the movie because like the
Awesome.
director saw me around and was like, she's got a good look. I don't know. You know how these things work. It's just like
Yeah.
her. Like she didn't have to audition. They're like, oh, so you act? Yeah, like send me your demo. And luckily, like you have to be ready with your stuff. Like luckily I had my demo reel already created with all my acting stuff, had all of this stuff. So they sent it to me and they're like, you speak Spanish? I was like, yeah. And
There we
I
go. Yep.
some lines and I was alongside so the main I don't know if I could tell yet because it's not coming out, but
It's okay. You don't have to tell us, but
okay. But one of the guys from the Allstate commercials was in the movie, which was cool.
okay. That's awesome. I'm happy for you got that opportunity.
Yeah, it was cool.
For sure. And do you feel like kind of being like in this marketing role and kind of having this marketing degree, do you feel like it's kind of helpful kind of being around these areas where it's like creativity is kind of happening at the same time, but it's also a space for you kind of absorb knowledge or absorb different kind of aspects of the industry where you kind of feel you need a little bit of more education on?
Yeah, I think it's really good if you are an actor to also be have a skill like in as a crew member. Like
Gotcha.
if you also like to act, but you have a good like wardrobe or you love styling or like go into that and
Hmm.
I'm sure you will meet a lot of people that are like, oh, she's the wardrobe, of course, like yeah, like she can totally be in this scene.
For
So
sure.
they're really really chill about that, especially if you want to be a PA, productions assistant.
Okay.
I've seen PAs be background. I've seen PAs be baristas or be in a chase scene just because they're there. And a lot of
Gotcha.
times it's just proximity. Like you just
Mhm.
have to be close.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also like about availability too, about being close as well. So that's
Hmm.
really awesome. I'm glad you kind of got an opportunity to kind of see it a little bit behind the scenes footage. So that's awesome. You kind of also have like a natural kind of presence, especially both on camera and online, where you kind of step inside like a photo shoot, a TikTok video. How do
Hmm.
you kind of present that authentic self into this space?
I also would like I credit it to being on stage really young.
Okay.
I was like on stage doing church stuff. Like they're
Yeah.
like as soon as they know you're kind of available and like excited to do things, they will ask you to do everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like, be the news person, be in this commercial for our church, like be this spokesperson, be a part
Hmm.
of the women's conference, um, announce in a stage with like thousands of people and
Yeah.
worship lead. So I just had so many opportunities where I just had to be on the fly, where now that doesn't bother me. I've got the reps
Okay.
in young.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like you kind of like played a lot of different hats early on, and you kind of
Yeah.
still are, but
Hmm.
it's kind of also playing inside your identity too. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
What's your kind of strategy for kind of staying confident on the camera? Is it kind of
Hmm.
like posting yourself? Is it kind of affirmations you tell yourself? What is it kind of like the secret to remaining confident?
I think you have to do a lot of like inward work with yourself.
Okay.
As far as like whatever it is, like for me, like I read the Bible, I find my peace through that. Like that's where
Yeah.
my joy comes from, like Jesus. So I have that to like ground me, and I know that nothing else can like disrupt my peace.
Of
So
course.
that just like allows me to lead my life with more confidence and lead conversations with people because I already have the security. Like I don't need this. I don't need a job. I don't as far
Yeah.
as not needing the industry, but just like, hey, this would be a nice opportunity. Hey, if you want me to be a part, I would love that. If it's not for me, I know that God has a plan that's better than the plan I know.
For sure, that's awesome. I'm happy you kind of had that spirituality still kind of carry on forward as you were kind of younger and kind of
Yeah.
evolve. So it's awesome. I'm very happy
Yeah.
to hear that. How
Hmm.
do you kind of, I know we kind of talked about like not having pressure and kind of not feeling that, but is there any advice you kind of have for other people who kind of feel that pressure?
Like what kind of pressure?
Like pressure on being perfect or kind of remaining, I guess like too, I guess kind of like leaning towards the cameras, I would say a little bit. Like you would have to be too perfect for like social media and stuff like that. So how would you kind of approach that pressure for someone who's kind of like not feeling it or just not being up to par?
Yeah, I think a lot of times because that's like fear, a
Yeah,
lot of times with fear driven things, you have to put yourself in a place that you come out of it on the other side and say, oh, that's actually okay.
yeah,
Like, oh, I went on camera without makeup for the first time and nothing bad happened. I'm
yeah,
okay. So like you have to train yourself to do little things here and there that make you uncomfortable and then you come out of it and you're like, I was actually okay. Like a lot of these auditions, like I go into them and it's scary, I want to do a good job. I want to be myself in the audition and I come out of it and it doesn't go my way. And I come out of there and I'm like, actually, the world isn't ending. Like,
Yeah,
there are other opportunities. I am okay after this. And going through those situations, you have to go through them to learn that they're not really that scary.
of course. That's awesome. That's
Hmm.
really great advice for other people who are kind of like going through that, especially kind of like nowadays where kind of like social media is kind of like this whole big thing now. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like the pressure to also kind of go viral, or do you kind of focus on kind of building your small little community?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a pressure to go viral a lot. Like, I mean, who wouldn't want that? Like, it's cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
um, but I wouldn't say for people to focus on it unless because it can just be so disheartening. Like we've obviously, like me and my husband have had videos that we loved, and just it just didn't get the traction. And when you
Yeah.
know, like we're operating on a phone, on an algorithm that may not take to everyone, or if this video was like this in this scenario, this video, if
Yeah.
it was brought out to other people who were more intrigued by it, it would have like went off and like the
Yeah.
algorithm would have loved it. But there's so many variables that you can't control, so you just gotta let go of that control.
For sure. Just kind of roll through the punches and just kind of go
Yeah.
through the storm. For sure. That's
Hmm.
awesome. We're gonna play a little game, Natalie. It's called This or That. It's a little fun little show game I do with every one of our guests.
Okay.
Basically, you just choose which one or the other. So my first one is: would you rather act in a blockbuster film or just an indie style drama?
Probably blockbuster film.
Blockbuster film. Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. Any specific reason, or you just like the publicity?
I think I like an indie style drama. Like I'm not big on like drama, you know?
Okay.
So I would want the blockbuster that feels like very lighthearted and a lot of the I've been around like film and a lot of the people who have the higher budget film, they really are just carefree. They're more carefree because they know they have a huge budget and
For
know that
sure.
there's a lot more freedom, a lot more fun they can have on set. And I think when you have like an indie film, there's a lot of stress and a lot of people can like be in their heads about this has to be perfect because this has to be the one that's going to get me to this level. And I'm
I
like,
got
oh,
you.
I don't want that
Yeah.
stress. I just want the crew to be like, hey, we're trying this awesome Karate Kid #4.
Yeah,
And
for
it
sure.
doesn't go
Transformers
out.
8. Yeah, for sure. Would you rather walk in a runway in Paris or try to feature in a global beauty campaign?
Runway in Paris or global beauty campaign? Probably, I know this sounds crazy because I'm going to say the big thing again, but probably like the global beauty campaign just
Okay.
because I think my story and who I am and my look would serve better in a campaign where I can tell my story to as many people as possible. Because I think
Gotcha.
that's like my ultimate goal. So that's what I would want to do. And Paris Fashion Week would be awesome, but it's just like there's too many tall, amazing women. And I'm like,
I feel you.
I don't know.
You gotta be pushed to the front, you know?
Yeah, I'm just like, just put me in a magazine. Like, I don't know.
I feel you. I feel you. That's awesome. And when it comes to music, would you rather release a hit single or would you rather sell out your first solo concert?
Hit single or sell out solo concert.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know. That one's
Okay.
like it's like it's very similar. Probably sell out a solo concert because I
Well,
feel like that just builds more momentum over time, and I'd rather be singing in a crowd of people who really are there because they just love it.
gotcha. Yeah, a little bit of hardcore fans in there. So that's
Mhm.
awesome. For sure. Would you rather go viral with one video or kind of slowly build up this fan base? Are you kind of leaning towards the fan base? I feel like you are.
Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
like a slow build because I just know how volatile like virality is, and it's like
Yeah,
you're up one day, you're down the next, and then they don't know who you are. So I'd
exactly.
rather like, people get to know me a lot more and slowly build it up. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like that um it's not that Never mind. Scratch that. Um, would you rather play a romantic lead or play a complex, mysterious character?
I'm maybe like a complex character.
Complex. Okay.
I love like a plot twist.
Okay.
And I love like layered emotion.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like maybe some of the characters you kind of play kind of were kind of that in general for you, where it's kind of like they kind of like changed throughout the course. But I'm not so sure. Is that something that you kind of felt is the way or no?
Um, as far as like characters I've played in the past,
Yeah, like do you feel like these characters have changed over the course of like different plays and stuff like that? Do you feel like you only stick to one character who's kind of like the same remaining throughout the whole play? What do you think?
yeah, I think I have probably played more characters that stick to the same.
Okay.
They're the same throughout, but I think it's just because like I'm typecasted in a certain way,
Hmm.
so it doesn't really allow me to be the character that changes so much. At least I haven't
Gotcha.
experienced it yet.
Hmm. There's always different opportunities for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And would you rather collaborate with a dream creative team or create your own project from scratch?
I want a team. Like
Team? Okay.
like the dream team help me, you know? Like I love a collaboration with like so many people
Hmm.
who are experts, who know what they're talking about, who man, I mean just being in a room full of like musicians who are just like on their A game, that's all they do. It's just beautiful. I
Yeah,
love
for
it.
sure. That'd be so awesome to have like a jam with all those people, like all
Yeah.
the people you grew up with. So that's awesome. Um, so let's talk about like the challenges and the real grind when it comes to balancing acting, modeling, singing.
Mhm.
That can be like really intense. Do you find yourself kind of like having to time manage a lot? Do you find yourself kind of having to stay grounded during tough times? How does it go for you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times where it's really fast and then it's slow.
Mhm.
So I think when it's really fast, it's like 5 auditions in a week, and I'm like,
Gotcha.
there. It's not just an audition. It's like, oh, learn this entire
Hmm.
song. Here's an entire packet and like
Yeah.
3 sides and this and that. So it becomes like a lot, especially if I have other things going on, like any shows or anything.
Yeah.
It does become a lot, but it's all at once. And usually there's seasons and there's off seasons. Right now, I'm kind of like in my off season, so
Hmm.
I can kind of like play my piano or do different things that occupy my time.
For
And
sure.
a lot of people in this industry, like they have full time jobs, like they work part time. I am
Right.
blessed to where I don't have to work full time because
Mhm.
my husband like he kind of takes care of us in that way. So I'm blessed to like help him with whatever he needs and
Yeah,
support
that's
him.
what's up.
No, yeah, it's lit. I love it. And he's like, you go do you, like go pursue your dream. So
Awesome.
it works out, and I know I am blessed to have that.
For sure, I'm sure. I'm glad you have that for you. For people who kind of like have this moment where it's like something didn't go as planned or something kind of like fell through, do you kind of take it to stride and how these moments kind of change your career where it's like, yo, I kind of messed up at one point, but I can come back from it from another.
Yeah, I think every like I kind of like think everything happens because it was supposed to happen.
Gotcha.
And when you do make a mistake, it's fine. Like you have to realize like it's fine.
Yeah.
Your life isn't over. There's so much life to live. Like people are starting their careers at 35, 40, 50 even
Yeah,
and doing great things. So don't sweat the little things. Just like keep trucking.
for sure. That's great advice. What does kind of like success kind of personally really mean to Natalie, in my opinion? Is it really just kind of success in terms of being the best or being booked for like musical theater, or is it kind of having all three and just like keeping them up to par? What is success looking for like for you?
Yeah, I think success for me would be a lot of people sharing that like I had an impact in their lives
Okay.
and I was able to leave a mark where if I were to leave, like, you know, leave from this earth or like, you know, pass away, unfortunately, like we all will,
Yeah.
that I made enough of an impact and I told enough of my story to a lot of people. And that's where I'd be like, okay, I have success. Like I don't want to build up treasures like here on this earth
Hmm.
because that doesn't serve me when I pass away, or that doesn't serve the people around me as much as
Sure.
you think it does, because money can cause a lot of issues for people as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, I just think I mainly want to focus on like what am I doing right now to like make a positive impact on people.
That's awesome. That's really great advice for other people, and
Yeah.
especially like when you're trying to branch out and trying to give people a little bit of your identity, but also trying to give them something else to build upon for themselves. That's really dope. Um, for me, like, what was one thing that you kind of wished you told yourself when you were first starting out? Is there any word of advice you kind of told little Natalie to kind of like keep pushing? Is there any kind of word of advice?
Yeah, I would probably tell her to just do it.
Just do
Just
it.
do it all.
Okay.
Like a lot of times, like personally, that confidence and that perfectionism allows you to stay stagnant and freeze and allows you not to move forward. And you really just have to let go of that. Like you have to find your stride in front of people. You have to
Mhm.
find what works and what doesn't work in front of people. So don't be afraid of that. Like
For
do
sure.
it sooner. So you don't have to like continue to
Yeah.
like carry this weight of like trying to make everything perfect.
Yeah, for sure. That's really awesome. How has your kind of culture and your kind of upbringing and your personal experiences kind of shaped the artist who you are today? We kind of dug upon like
Yeah.
this little gospel
Mm-hmm.
um, avenue that you kind of went upon when you were younger, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
evolved for you to kind of being a Christian artist. How did those experiences kind of bring upon who you are today?
Yeah, I would say like when I was in my like early teen 2020 like COVID years, I really like saw the Doja Cat, like all these
Yeah.
like dope artists just like being very carefree and doing whatever they wanted to. And like I said, I got to learn more and more about the industry and realize that and through I used to like live stream a lot as well,
Hmm.
and I would sing on live, and I did really well doing that, and it just
Awesome.
like got to a weird place, and I found myself trying to be more successful on live by like compromising myself, or you know, oh, if I wear a low cut top maybe people will donate more, or if I do this
Mhm.
and that, say these certain things, I would get more attention, and like I thought attention was gonna
Yeah.
be the thing that made me feel like I was succeeding, and it just made me feel worse. So
Right.
I was like, I really like shut that area out, and that was
Yeah.
like one of the darkest places for me.
Hmm.
But I realized like, you know, that isn't the plan for my life, and so I really like re got into my faith and was like, wow, this is real truth. This is really why I'm here. This is what I
Hmm.
have to do, and I've known since I was young. And now just coming back around to seeing how like God works in my life and how He's like giving me so many songs, and I'm just like, okay, like dang, I'll do it now. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's really
So that's
awesome.
like
Kind of like
exactly where I'm at right now with like my whole journey.
for sure, and it's kind of like also it's also unique to yourself because you're kind of going back to like where you originally were from, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do these kind of roots kind of show up in other avenues beyond just music? Is it kind of showing up in acting? Is it showing up also
Mm-hmm.
in content?
Oh yeah, I think like it's really because I've wanted this sort of like career since I
Yeah.
was young, but I was willing to like, you know, be like, oh yeah, I'll kiss a boy, like
Hmm.
I'll do a whatever. But
Right.
now I'm like very particular in what I decide I want to do. And
Exactly.
that's okay. Like you don't have to just every opportunity that comes to you, you don't have to take it. Like
Mhm.
everything that feels a little questionable or feels like, oh, like I don't know, this is a little stretch for me. You
Yeah.
don't have to do it. That's not going to give you success. Like you don't have to pose nude or do any of these stuffs in like these modeling and these acting industries that is very common and normalized. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to do that
Right.
to be successful in this industry.
Of
So
course. That's a really great word of advice, especially for other
yeah,
people who kind of feel like a little bit boxed in or feel like they're kind of like a little bit
yeah.
trapped. So that's really awesome. Helping
Because
you kind of,
usually like that's the first point of entry. Like usually
yeah.
they're like, oh, we'll pay you more if you do this explicit scene, and it's
Right.
like, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want that for the whole world to
yeah,
see,
for sure. For sure, I understand. Beyond
Yeah.
these kind of like aesthetics and kind of like other avenues, is there something else you kind of want to impact other people on? Is it kind of like something that you want to have your art kind of be portrayed in a different way? Do you feel like your art is hoping to branch out to other people through these different avenues or no?
I do. I think like my who I am as an artist has to be like who I am truly. I remember before I was like, okay, but who am I as an artist? And like, how can I be different in that way? And it's like, just be who you are, and that's different
Gotcha.
enough. Like, you don't have to try to be different. Just
Yeah.
be you, and that's different. So like for a while I was like, okay, but like what is my artist's name and what color hair
Yeah.
does she have, and like created like these alter egos, which some people do, but I
Yeah.
feel like just you gotta be yourself.
For sure. I feel like that's 100% authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want them to kind of like feel something at the end of the day where it's like you want them to also be their unique selves too? Or do you want them to also kind of think differently for themselves?
Yeah, I think like for example, like throughout everything and anything I do, like I want it to be a representation of me. So
Yeah.
like if I have a conversation of you, you're not gonna have a conversation with someone else that knows me and be like, really? That's what she was
Mhm.
like? That's not what she was like with me. You know, I want to stay consistent
Gotcha.
with who I am.
Mhm.
Obviously, like playing a bunch of different roles and being a part of different shows, you play different characters, and that's cool and dandy. But overall, like I just still want it to have a good representation of me.
For sure. I didn't really notice that where it's like you want yourself to kind of be unique, but at the same time you're kind of playing all these different roles where it's like they're different too. So that's really awesome how you're kind of like
Mhm.
staying in touch with yourself.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, what's next for you? Do you have any upcoming projects? Do you have any upcoming avenues? Any performances?
I am most likely going to be doing a lot of local stuff right now and getting my like doing a lot of phone calls, like trying to book a bunch of like Christmas gigs because Christmas is coming
Yeah,
up, and like doing a bunch of like Christmas sets because it's fun and jazzy, and I love Christmas.
yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful holiday. Do you have any dream roles or any modeling gigs you asked?
Um, like no, I
Oh,
actually
okay.
don't. I think I'm very right now like I don't try to idolize a certain like step and like, oh, this is what I'm gonna have when I have my dream life. It's like I
Gotcha.
already feel like I'm in a dream. So so
Yeah,
having like a dream role, of course Hamilton would be awesome. Anything on
Hamilton.
Broadway would be sick.
Yeah,
I think once I get to that point I'm gonna be like, what else do I do?
yeah, for sure. I feel like it's like, what else is there, you know?
Yeah. I'm like,
Awesome.
okay, well, what's next? Like, if
Yeah,
your whole life, you're gonna be like, what's next? What's better?
gotcha. And where can people find you online, Natalie?
So on here, my username is natalie.m.sanchez,
Gotcha.
and I'm trying to think. Oh, my YouTube channel as well, Natalie Sanchez, and I post covers and stuff like that on there. And I think
Awesome. Do you post daily or do you post like weekly?
no, I kind of post when I've gone to the studio and like prepared something, and then I'm like, I'll post, but I gotta
Gotcha.
be more consistent with that. Other than that, probably catch up with me on my husband's page because
For
I'm
sure.
a
I heard it's really popping. I love the songs you guys do and the kind of like this little chemistry you have in between. It's really just like it's really just natural in my opinion. For a lot of me, for what I see is like when I see a lot of TikTok couples, it just reminds me of like, is it forced? Is it really
yeah,
not? Like, are they really doing it for just
hmm
the out of love? But when I see
yeah,
you and your husband, it's almost like that's authentic them. That's them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's really dope.
We've been together for what year is it? 2025, so 2015, so like 10 years.
Okay, awesome.
10 years. And
Congratulations.
we've been married for 2 years now,
Yeah.
married, but we've like been like this. Like he's my bestie.
That's awesome. It's always a
Mhm.
great relationship when someone's also your best and you can always like be the
Mhm.
whole bunch of stuff. So that's
Yeah, we are
awesome.
like truly ourselves together. Like it's a mess. We're so weird. It's great.
Nah, it's okay. Every one of us is weird, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And last thing, Natalie, I ask always one of our guests this, but what does ambition really mean to you, Natalie?
I think ambition means drive, like your will to continue to do the things that you set out for yourself. So I think that's what ambition means.
Yeah, awesome. That's a great. Thank you for this close, and thank you so much for sharing your journey and your passion along with us and your energy here today. You're very multi-talented, and I hope we get to see a lot more from you, especially in theatrics and music, and especially content creation with you and your
Yeah.
husband. To our listeners, thank you so much for staying in tune with Ambition Amplified. Follow Natalie Sanchez online at natalie.m.sanchez, and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at AmbitionCNC. This has been Christian Garfield and Natalie Sanchez. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.